All right, Grigor Dimitrov, how you doing? Takes out Carlitos Alcaraz in a stunning performance in Miami with some of the best backhands and returning we've ever seen from him, and one of the best matches he's probably ever played. So let's break down this match, how Grigor took out Alcaraz, stopped Carlitos's bid for the Sunshine Double, and let's take a look at Medvedev's center matchup, semifinals here in Miami, and get stuck into it. Here's the slice. Let's go. Wow. Well, that was a match. If you got to watch that start to finish, congrats to you. You should feel very lucky. What a performance from Grigor Dimitrov, who everyone knows has that type of level in him, but it doesn't always come together. But if you've noticed, the 32-year-old has been playing good tennis. He's found another streak in his career where you're like, yeah, this guy's a solid top 10 player. And I believe if he wins tomorrow against Zverev, he will be in the top 10 again. But what a match against Carlos Alcaraz. If you're new here, if you haven't been here yet, welcome to The Slice. I'm Steven. I'm a Canadian tennis journalist, and I host this show every week. So subscribe for the best tennis news coming from Canada on the interwebs. Grigor Dimitrov, flexing on him, looking great. 32 years old, still using the pro staff, still clipping one-handed backhands, played a great match. So what happened here? From the scoreline 6-2, 6-4, it's like, did Alcaraz play bad? Did Dimitrov just play great and Alcaraz play bad? It could look like that, but going through this match, Alcaraz actually played pretty good. Dimitrov just played amazing. And he really took advantage, or took the first place in these big points in the match, right to start and right at the finish. And we'll talk about that. But in general, Dimitrov played super aggressive, played forward in the court, took his chances like he was always going to, but he just hit the ball super clean. Forehand, backhand, serve, did everything great. But the main thing that stuck out that everyone's kind of been talking about is his return. Just banging one-handed backhand return winners on the second serve, playing everything deep, connecting super well, putting Carlos on the back foot right away on his own serve. Carlos Alcaraz only won 56% of his first serve points in the match, which is a dominant returning performance from Dimitrov. And you can see from that number that Alcaraz is well below what he would normally be on his first serve win percentage, and definitely not where he'd want to be going forward. So did he have his best serving performance on his own serve? Maybe not. There was definitely ways that he could have improved that, but the return game from Dimitrov was pretty stunning. And honestly, this is one of those matches where you're just kind of like, would anyone on tour have beaten Dimitrov at this level? You never know. But there was points in the match where this could have turned, and this is always the case. Dimitrov comes out playing amazing. Really, the first game, he actually faced a break point on his serve. The first return game is really where it got going. So this is an interesting point. And then we'll talk a little bit more about how this could have changed. The first point on his first return game, Dimitrov hits a inside, I guess outside in, cross-court backhand return winner off a second serve on the first point of the first game. Off the first point, in the first point of his last return game and the last game of the match, Dimitrov does the exact same thing. Second serve, tried to get into the body, didn't do it enough. Dimitrov hits a backhand, boom, back kind of cross-court winner on the second serve point. And those kind of returns, you just don't see that often from a guy with a one-handed backhand. And that's what I mean when Dimitrov kind of just took his chances. Early in the game, on his first return game, he just got stuck into that game, put Alcaraz on his back foot. And then in the last game, after he'd just gotten broken 2 games earlier and the match could have potentially turned, Dimitrov again stepped up, played aggressive, took a swing, and it paid off. he got Alcaraz on the back foot again in that last game of the match, or what turned out to be the last game of the match, and that paid off for him. So that was super interesting. Just a super high quality match to watch. Ball striking from heaven. Crowds not full in Miami. I did notice that. Not cool. Dimitrov versus Alcaraz. I mean, what more could you want? It's a semifinal of the Miami Open. But yeah, in general, Dimitrov played, loose. He played his aggressive style, but he played taking his shots, not just grinding it out, not just making balls. And we love to see that. And it worked. And he connected on everything. And he was playing super clean. And he just straight up beat Alcaraz to the punch. It's and in the short 3-set format, he never really let Alcaraz get super momentum back. I would say after Dimitrov went up 4-1 in the second set, Alcaraz definitely broke back, and he wrestled that momentum back to pretty much even, and almost maybe you would say that the crowd was getting behind Carlos, urging him to kind of get on top and bring it out to 3 sets. But Dimitrov just never, after he got broken, he went right back to work, settled the match, and then broke to win, like how we talked about earlier. So that's just, a lot of that is just veteran reading the moment of the match from Dimitrov, knowing that, okay, you just got broken. You're still in a great spot. Let's just keep playing the same way I've played, not letting the emotions get to him. And Carlos not really knowing what to do. This guy's playing amazing. He's returning my serves like crazy. He's hitting everything. When I try and go to his backhand, he's just hitting backhand winners up the line or taking it cross court or hitting it huge, and the slice is really effective. What do I do? That's the inexperience of Carlos. Even though he's won 2 majors, all these things, he's came up against an opponent today who's just playing so well. He didn't have a time, and he didn't find the tools quick enough to really stay in there and just make Dimitrov drop his level a bit and find a way to get out of that scenario. And that's what happens. 2 sets, too quick. That match can be over pretty fast. If you look at it, do we have the time here? Hour and a half, pretty quick. So what could Alcaraz have done differently? You tell me in the comment section below. I don't know. He could have served better, probably. He could have been more patient. He doesn't have to panic and try and, outblast somebody who's hitting, as well as Dimitrov was playing out of the moon. You can kind of just wait for him to get back down to earth and trust your game. But really, was there that much that Alcaraz could do? If Dimitrov, who we all know is one of the most skilled, talented players, probably, right up there with anyone who's played the game, if it all aligns for him, he can beat anyone. We've seen that before, and it makes sense that a 32-year-old with all this experience would beat an Alcaraz with not 32 years of experience. So that's a big win for Dimitrov, obviously. Huge win for Dimitrov. Tough one for Alcaraz. He's out. He will not be doing the Sunshine Double, but he's going to go into clay feeling pretty good, I think. Okay, let's look at the draw. So Dimitrov takes out Alcaraz. Zverev takes out Marozsan. Yari loses to Daniil Medvedev, who just keeps on winning. Daniil Medvedev just keeps on winning. And Sinner takes out Machak 6-4, 6-2. So we've got some pretty interesting head-to-heads here in the semifinals, actually, if you look at it. If you go to the Sinner Medvedev head-to-head, it's 6-4 for Medvedev. Medvedev won the first 6 matches that they played up until the 2023 Miami final last year. He also beat him in Rotterdam. And then since Beijing, Sinner's won 4 in a row. And as we all know, Sinner has really become arguably the best player in the world right now. So what are Daniil's chances? I think he's got to serve amazingly well. We talked about this in Indian Wells. The slower courts, the grittier courts, and the super athlete performers or opponents he had hurt his first serve win percentage big time. We're going to see how well he serves against Jannik Sinner. That's going to be key for him, obviously. Is he going to play super aggressive like we saw in Australia when he came out and tried to blitz him? We'll see. It's going to be interesting. We're going to look at his return position. We're going to look at how he manages the match based on how Sinner's playing. Is Sinner going to come out just crushing the ball, or is Medvedev going to be able to get on the front foot and be the more aggressive one? And how will Sinner react to that? It was awesome to see Sinner in the 5-set format in Australia wait, not feel like he has to out ball bash Medvedev and just figure out how to play from deep behind the baseline and move up into the court as Medvedev got tired. This is going to be a shorter match. Can Medvedev just serve bot it away? Maybe he can. Can Sinner serve bot it away? Maybe he can. It's going to be interesting to see. But the recent history in this matchup has been favoring Sinner 4 matches in a row, including Australia, obviously the final. So that is going to be in the head of both players in that match, I think, for sure. And similarly, in the head-to-head, Dimitrov versus Zverev, Dimitrov won the first match back in 2014. Crazy. Zverev must have been like 16 or 7. Yeah, like 16 years old. And then Zverev's won every match since then. So Zverev's playing great. Dimitrov is playing great too, though. So can Dimitrov catch lightning in a bottle, if you must say, twice in a row? Can he play the same way against Zverev that he did against Alcaraz? I'm going to say no, because Alcaraz doesn't really have the serve of Zverev, if you haven't noticed. Zverev's got a much bigger serve. I don't think Dimitrov will be returning the way he did against Alcaraz, but maybe he will. Alcaraz has got more variety, more dynamicism. I've been trying to say this word for a few weeks now. Dynamicism in his game than Zverev does. But Zverev can take the racket out of your hand, which Alcaraz didn't do today against Dimitrov. So predictions, I think we got Zverev beating Dimitrov. And then I think we've got Sinner beating Medvedev. Those are my predictions for the finalists in Miami. They're going to be great matches. You got to watch them. Big performance today from Dimitrov. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see Dimitrov get another Masters 1000, and we will see how Sinner plays based on the form he's been in, which has been impeccable, of course. 1 match lost all year so far. Is it going to stop now? Again, can Medvedev do it? Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time here on The Slice.